Welcome to the new video. Here in this particular video, I'm going to share one of the recent interview which I was attended. It was a first round of interview and the company's sector was into banking, like financial sector, and the role was a DevOps role, and they are expecting a candidate with 2+ like around 3 years of experience. Okay, so the major topics was covered in this particular interview was CI/CD pipelines and the majorly the interviewer focuses on this aspects, majorly CI/CD. After that, Docker and scripting, Terraform, configuration management, Kubernetes, cloud platform, and DevSecOps. Also, he asked some questions. So monitoring also, and DevOps culture related questions also. And the interview went very well. I hope so. Getting further updates on this. So in the upcoming video, I will definitely share a kind of responses video also, like a question and answer type. In this particular video, I wanted to share only questions. Okay, so I didn't get that time to do a video for responses also. Why? Because it will take some time. So as of now, for quicker thing. I'm doing only answers, only questions. So if you are preparing, then definitely it will be helpful for you, especially DevOps, DevSecOps, or cloud domain. Okay, so yeah, let's move forward. And the first question was, what is the approach in setting up a CI/CD pipeline from scratch? I explained that from scratch based upon my experience and project relevance. How do you manage a credential securely in CI/CD pipeline? And the next question was, what is your process for troubleshooting a failed deployment within the Jenkins? And a question regarding the Git branching strategy impact in CI/CD. Can you explain that? What is the difference between declarative and scripted Jenkins pipeline? How do you automate artifacts versioning during a build? If you see the questions, which she started very basic, and you can see till end of this particular video, you will get to know how. It's like not in depth, but it's like more kind of. More number of questions and digging of knowledge like that. Okay, so yeah, let's move ahead. After the artifacts, how do you handle a zero downtime in the deployments, and how do you approach to securing Docker containers, and how do you write a bash script to monitor disk usage and alert when it exceeds a threshold limit? How do you schedule and run a script automatically? How do you ensure that your infrastructure is reproducible across the environments? What is the use of state file in Terraform? What is the difference between provisioning and configuration management? How do you ensure rollback capability in your pipeline? What challenges have you faced in pipeline automation, and how did you resolve them? What is infrastructure as a code, and how do Terraform implement it? How does Terraform manage state and why it is important? What are some best practices when writing a Terraform code? If you see the tools also, like some basic questions, after that in-depth question, like follow-up questions, more like that. Okay, and moving to the next question, explain deployment in configuration management. How does Ansible measure idempotent operations? How do Docker containers differ from virtual machines? And how do you make your Docker image more efficient and secure? What is Kubernetes and what are its main components? How do you handle service discovery and load balancing within the Kubernetes? How do you perform a rolling update in Kubernetes and rollback in something if something goes wrong? What factors would you consider when deploying infrastructure on AWS, Azure, or GCP? What is the difference between AWS Lambda and AC2 instance? And when would you use each of them? Describe how would you troubleshoot a performance issue on a server or application. More into scenario based question. How do you debug and resolve a failing pod within a Kubernetes? Let's say if critical service is down in production, how do you handle the incident response? How do you foster the collaboration between the deployment and operations teams in a DevOps culture? It's more related to cultural question. And here does DevSecOps come into picture. What is DevSecOps and what roles did do tools like Snake, GitLeaks, and OAPS Zap play in the pipeline? How would you integrate OAPS Zap into a CI/CD pipeline for automated security testing? And can you explain a blue-green deployment strategy within and its benefits? And the next question was, how does a canary deployment differ from blue-green deployment? And when would you use both of them? What monitoring and logging tools have you used, and to what do they provide basically? And what are some best practices for alerting in production system? Which DevOps metrics or performance indicates do you track? Example, MTTR or deployment frequency. And next question was, how do you use these metrics to improve team performance? For instance, how would you increase deployment frequency or reduce MTTR? And how would you handle if a stakeholder or developer was resistant to adopting a new DevOps practice or tool? Describe your communication approach. How do you tackle this situation basically? And this is the final question. It is regarding what do you think or why do you think this job role is best suited for you, like that. Okay. And as per it was a first round of discussion, more into technical, and as I said, it's not that much depth. Okay, they wanted to cover and analyze our knowledge in different areas. Okay, wide knowledge will be tested mostly in some cases of a first round of interview, and in some cases managerial discussion will be like this, and in some cases firstly they will deep dive into the technical knowledge, after that wide knowledge. Okay, so my experience for this interview was very well, and yeah, definitely if there is any further updates I would be happy to share that, and definitely I will share that. Okay, and stay tuned for more updates. Thank you.